Hi, I'm Rashonda. I'm the creator of this YouTube channel as well as the artbyro.com website where you can find over 200 art and drawing tutorials. In today's video, I'm going to be drawing a kind of a cartoon Grim Reaper drawing, and hopefully you'll feel inspired to follow along and do some of your own drawings. If you do, please let me know in the comments, and also if you enjoy the video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to get notified of future videos. So let's go ahead and go on over to the art studio and get started on that. In this video, I'm making a Grim Reaper. Like usual, there's many ways that you can draw these, different styles, different ways of doing the cloak and the sickle and the face. Just so many different ways you can do it. So I'm going to show you one way. And then hopefully you feel inspired to draw your own. And to try some different things and to experiment a little bit. So I like to start with some basic shapes. So a circle, that's where the head's going to go. He's going to have a hood on. So this is roughly where the hood will go, his cloak. And then the sickle will come down along the side here, come up towards the top. Another little triangle shape there. So that's the basic shapes of where everything's going to go. And I'm doing mine on an artist trading card. If you've seen any of my other videos, then you already know. I like to do mine on artist trading cards. I do a lot of my drawings that way. You can do yours on any size or type of paper. It doesn't really matter. So oftentimes I will divide the circle for the head into quadrants. So just dividing it somewhat evenly. I usually do the eyes a little bit above where the center point is. And now we're just going to start drawing in those elements. So you could do a lot of variations here with the way that you draw the eyes. This is going to be a cartoon style. So I like to make the eyes different. It just kind of adds to that cartoony, a little bit of a softer feel to it. The nose. And then part of the face is going to be covered up by the hood, but I'm still going to draw some of that in, and then we'll just go ahead and we'll cover it up. So his cheek's going to come around. And like I said, there's a lot of different ways. There's a lot of different ways you can draw the skulls to begin with. And then you can kind of mix and match them a little bit. The mouth is going to come across here. Sometimes it's easier if you draw that area out first. So then the hood is going to come down and cover up part of the face. So I'm going to draw that. His other cheekbone is going to be down here. And the side of the head is going to come down. You can erase if you need to, or leave it until later. It doesn't matter. And then for the teeth, I'm just going to round these off. Again, so many different ways that you can draw the teeth and the mouth. You can do just the top, or you could also, if you wanted to, you could add a little bit of a jaw down here. You could do more teeth. It's just a ton of different ways that you can vary your drawing and make it different. So I like to do a series of drawings a lot of times, and then just try to do something new or something different with each one. This is all just going to be filled in black. The hood's going to come down like that. Come around this way. That'll just be filled in black. and then it will come down here. So I like to do those 7-day drawing challenges, which is one of the reasons why I love using artist trading cards. If you're not familiar with artist trading cards, I will put a link in the description box so you can check that out. There's a free guide in there that tells you all about them. So I'm going to go ahead and draw the hood coming down this way. I think for the top, maybe I'll have that come down over here and sort of curl around this way. And then come around. You can play around with how everything overlaps and bends. Try different things. We're just going to bring the hood down this way. And then for the cloak, again, a lot of different ways you can draw it. We want it to flow a little bit and have some uneven lines. Make it a little more interesting. You can have it curl up and around a little bit or not, doesn't matter. Just do whatever it is that you think makes your drawing look more interesting. We don't want boring drawings. Then we're going to have the arm come around over here. This line won't be there. I'll clean that up a little bit so you can sort of follow along with where I'm going with this. And then for the hands, you can make them more detailed. I don't worry about getting too many details in this type of drawing. And then this arm needs to come over here. The sickle I'm just going to have go behind his head because I don't want to cover up his face. I want that to be visible. This is going to come down. We can make that a little bit wider. So the pieces we drew earlier, those are just guidelines basically to give us a rough idea of where everything's going to go. And then this we can have come around like that and just go off the edge of the paper over there. Those lines aren't going to be visible. And then for this part, you can either have the blade in front of the handle or behind the handle. A lot of different options. And then this hand has to come down and we want him to be holding this. And then the sleeve coming down, the arm coming across, the bottom part of the sleeve. So that's pretty much it for the drawing portion of it. So now what I like to do is outline my drawings with a black pen. I use the Sharpie pen. You can use a marker. You could use a different type of pen. You could use a different color if you want. You could use a brush pen. Brush pens look really nice. So all I'm going to do is literally just trace over all the pencil lines that I'm keeping, filling in anything with black that I want to be filled in with black. And then I can use a block eraser to go over the whole drawing, remove all the pencil lines, and then it will be ready to add color, which I'll be using markers. I typically use markers on my drawings. You can use whatever you want. Colored pencils would work good. You could even use paint if you wanted to. Whatever your preferences will work. So I'm just going to start going over top of all of these pencil lines, making sure I'm only going over the ones that I need to keep, not going over the ones that should be erased. And then filling in this black wherever needed. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up, and I will be back when I have everything outlined. So the next step is to use a block eraser. You can use something like this. You could use just a regular pink eraser. It doesn't matter. I like these because you can just go right over top of everything, erase all the pencil lines, and then choose whatever colors you want to use, whether it's colored pencils or markers or whatever it is you want to use. And then clean this up, and it will be ready to add some color. So I'm going to clean this up, finish this, grab some markers, and I will be right back with you. So everything's cleaned up on the drawing. I have my markers all picked out. I do that by testing them on a scrap piece of paper, just to figure out which colors go good together, which ones look the way I want them to look. And then I can start adding in color. So this is going to be, his cloak's black, but I don't want to make it just a solid black. So I like to start with this blue. It's a little bit darker blue, and you can do this again different ways. There's a lot of different ways to do this. This is how I like to color my drawings. You can do whatever works for you. So now I have a light gray, or kind of, this is more of a medium type gray. And I'll put some of that down, and then I'll take the blue and go over those edges and darken that up a little bit. And then I will take another gray that's even darker and put some of that in. And then I will take that lighter gray again and blend those colors in together. And then take the black and do black just a little bit at the edges. And then again, take that gray, blend that in. And basically I just keep working back and forth with the markers that I had picked out to add this color in. I also need to fill in this bottom part with black. And then I can add in the rest of the color. So I'm going to do all of the color the same way I just showed you. I like doing it that way instead of just adding one solid color. It adds a little bit of depth to the drawing. It makes it look a little bit more interesting than just having flat colors. Again, you can do your color however you want. Totally up to you. And then what I'll do for the areas that are white is I will just add some gray in there. I'll leave some of it white, but I'll add some gray just to break up those big areas of white, mostly around the edges, just so it's not just a plain, solid, boring white. You could add more color to them. You could do some browns or beiges in here, and instead of having the bones be white. And then I have a couple different browns that I'll do the handle, and then grays for the sickle, and then all that'll be left to do is the background. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish coloring this in. I'm gonna speed that up, and I'll be back when that's done. need to do to finish this up is to add some white highlights on here. This is optional. You do not have to add white if you don't want to. I like to add some white just to break up these solid areas of color. Like I said, this is optional. You can do this or leave it out. The choice is yours. And when I do this, I'm not really thinking about where my light source is at and trying to keep my shadows realistic, because this is not a realistic drawing anyway. So I'm not too worried about that. Like I said, I just like breaking up the solid areas of color. Adding a little white in. So this is pretty much finished. You can touch up any areas that might need touched up. You might want to go back in after your marker and tighten up your outlines a little bit. Darken them up with something like this because of all the dark colors and the black that's used. Sometimes the outline gets buried a little bit. So you could go in and bold up your outline if you wanted to. But I think I'm going to consider this done. Maybe I'll add a little bit of white up here. But that's it for this drawing. So this one's done. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give us a like. Subscribe if you want to get notified of future videos. And hopefully you feel inspired to try some drawings of your own. And I will see you in the next one. Happy creating! That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. And hopefully you followed along and created your own artwork. Don't forget to check out that description box. There's some information in there for you. And also give us a like and subscribe to get notified of future videos. And I will see you next time. Bye!